What's up, Edugamers? This is week number 2 of our Edugamer weekly live stream. Just want to double check the sound's working, but I'm super excited for this stream. We're gonna talk about a couple things today, and I'm super excited because during this stream, hopefully, if we have a chance, if not, looks like the sound's working. If not, we'll do it in next week's stream. So if you're watching the recording, the replay of this, I want to invite you to share some game-based resources you're designing or gamification. Maybe you're trying to bring that into your course or you're designing a game for learning. We can review that and look at it live, and I can give you some feedback live. So I'm excited to start doing that each week. So if you are interested, be sure to just join on Sundays at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We'll make that a segment for each weekly live stream. We'll choose a couple different people that want to share their projects, and we'll review them and look them over and kind of provide some feedback as we do that. So today, I want to talk about a couple things. We're going to look at the giveaway again, just really quick, if you're not familiar with the giveaway, to show you how to enter and what you need to do to enter, I guess, and what kind of prizes we're giving away. We're giving away 3 board games and some board game with education merchandise. So super excited for that. Also, I want to talk about a couple games I've been playing. I just realized I forgot one of the games over there. So I'll just have to talk about it. And also want to share with you the Facebook group. There's a lot of people engaging in that community, so I'm going to point you in that direction to see where you can go to kind of get some feedback. If you have questions, you can engage in that community there. There's a lot of great people, a lot of awesome members in that community. And then I want to share another example of a time I took a risk as a teacher. So I released a video not too long ago, I think yesterday was published, about a risk I took using the Avengers in my classroom and how I was worried about doing something different and something new, something I wasn't used to, and how that risk really paid off in my educational career. So you can check out that video that's on the channel. It's only a 5-minute video. It comes from an idea that I talked about on the podcast with the previous guest, Christiane, and she talked about her risks that she took in her world history course that she teaches at a university, and how she gamified the entire course and brought in elements of world building, and how she's kind of just improved that course over the years, and how when she first implemented it, she learned a lot, and she was very open and honest with her students about this is going to be a learning process for her as well. So it was a really cool episode. I recommend checking that out. I was able to watch her presentation at Indiecade this past, I think, last year, and I really would love to be one of her students in her class. So I recommend checking out that podcast to hear about that. So let's get into the giveaway. So the giveaway that we're doing, I talked about this last week as well. I'm gonna share my screen so I can show you a little bit about the giveaway. So let's go there. So right now you see a couple of the merchandise that we're kind of putting together. The store's coming along, so we'll have that up and going soon. I want to share with you the giveaway that we're doing, and that is on our Facebook group. And you can see the title up there. It's Game-Based Learning, Gamification, and Games in Education. You'll need to join the Facebook group to enter the giveaway in a way that I know who you are and I can reach out to you if you win, and just comment your YouTube name. We're giving away 3 different games. So Election Night, I've never played, and I've read reviews online. It looks like a really great game for social studies content areas. The reason I wanted to choose it is because I talk about a lot of science-based games, and my background is in language acquisition, and so I use a lot of games for that. So I wanted to choose a different game outside of a content area we haven't really covered on the show as much. I know there's a bunch of history games out there. This is more related to, I think, outside of history and more social studies and civics. Evolution, really awesome game. There's the digital game as well that's available, Education Edition, you can check out. But we're giving away the board game today, or not today, but over the next month. So we're doing this for a 100th episode giveaway on the podcast. And then Trap Words. This is my favorite game to play for language learning. It's super collaborative, really great for reviewing vocabulary and also learning about words associated to others. It's very efficient because everyone's involved in the learning process. All the players are playing the game at the same time too. Definitely one of my favorites. And then we're giving away a couple other board game with education merchandise, a bottle, a tote, and a coffee mug. So to enter that, you just need to like, subscribe, and comment on any YouTube video, and then let us know who you are on our Facebook group. You can also let us know on our Facebook page if you do not want to join the group, that's fine. But definitely reach out to us on Facebook or somehow so we know who you are and we can add you into the giveaway. The Facebook group, I kind of want to talk about this as well. This is where I share all my work. There's a lot of awesome community members in this group as well. Each Monday, or try to do it each Monday, we welcome new members to the group. Other teachers are asking questions, so this was a great question about how implementing new games, how do you assess learning outcomes, so talking about that. And she was asking specifically about digital-based games. Other great resources for Scratch, which is a type of coding, I believe. I'm not 100% familiar with that resource. Call for Papers, Google Slides games, so a lot of great resources. I posted a question of the week. I try to do this each week on Wednesday. And this is related to the video I talked about, is tell us about a time you took a risk as a educator, designer, player, or in other aspects of your career and life. And then I released a video on yesterday about my risk that I took, and I want to share a little bit more about the risk, another risk I took today. So definitely check out the Facebook page. Really great place for resources. Another great place is our website, boardgamewitheducation.com. You can hop onto our newsletter there. We have a newsletter that goes out each week with recent podcast episodes and YouTube videos, as well as one compilation of resources and articles over the month. So we'll release that on May 31st or June 1st for the month of May, and we'll include all the resources we came across throughout the month, different articles, different resources, different maybe lesson plans, anything that we find that would be useful for you as a game-based educator or designer or publisher. So that's boardgamewitheducation.com. And next up, before I get into a different risk that I want to share with you as a teacher that I did or I took, something I want to do, we'll start this hopefully when we have a larger audience. This is only the second week. I need to get better at promoting it up into the point or up into the day. I only just promoted again an hour before. So when you watch the replays and people join on the replays, definitely come live, because what I want to do is something where we do share your project and we do a quick just 5-minute feedback, 5-minute review on your project, something really quick. Maybe I can catch something that you might have missed in your design. I think maybe next week we'll actually look at one of my projects as an example. I think that's a good idea. So if you are interested, come to the live streams, and you can put in your project in the comments and add a link, and we'll broadcast it live. So we'll do that with my project maybe next week. But for now, take away this countdown. I want to talk about a different risk I took. So my other video, I talk about the very first time I used a game element in my class, and I used gamification for classroom management as a way to reinforce positive behaviors in my class, because we used a kind of gamification system with red star, blue stars, and then they can turn those in for the blue stars in for get out of detention passes and other prizes. That wasn't working for one of my classes, and I talk about that, and I talk about the risk I was taking, the feelings, and kind of what was going on in that process in my video on Saturday. So check that out in the channel if you want to learn more about that. But I want to talk about a different risk. I think this one was a larger leap. The first risk I took was pretty, I guess, daunting because it was the first time I did something like this. But this risk that I want to talk about now is more daunting because it was a large project. And I decided to gamify my entire university course. And I was super excited to do this. And over the summer, I kind of did some research, and I found some things that were really great resources, and I wanted to make or mold them into my own kind of course design. And I took Sherlock Holmes. So this was a writing course, academic writing course for international students that I taught in Taiwan. And so a lot of these students were maybe going to graduate schools, or they needed a higher English score for their career when they graduate, and they required them to write an essay, an academic essay for different English certification exams. So the course was based around academic writing and really helping them develop the skills for these, develop academic writing skills as well as the skills needed for these specific exams. So I wanted to gamify it, and I also flipped my classroom the same semester. So it was a large project, but I wanted to do this because I had something like 40-50 students in my writing course. There was no way I could be able to give them the individual feedback that I think they deserve as my student. So what I did was flip my classroom. And I also gamified my course. That was an opportunity for them to collaborate each week, because in the day-to-day or the weekly lessons, we didn't have a lot of group work. They did some peer review and peer writing and peer review group work on their writing, but I wanted to be sure we had other collaborative elements in the class. And so I used Sherlock Holmes as a way to gamify the course, and also use knowledge points instead of XP. So KP was what I used to track their participation score. So they had their grades for participation, and then they had their grades for their main essays. So that worked pretty well. Looking back at that, and what I did the following semester was disassociate the KP with their grades. That was a lot of work tracking. I think it was good for them because they were able to, they were motivated to earn the KP in other ways, but it was very high risk. I think they associated the games with too much of a high risk of their grade. And I wasn't not clear enough with dissociating the KP as bonus points. So as long as they came to class and participated, their score would be fairly high for the participation score, as long as they were showing up to class, turning in their work, participating in activities. But what I maybe wasn't as clear as I could have been, because some students at times, I remember one specific student was frustrated because they didn't earn extra KP, which was bonus KP for their grade, was kind of being sure those things were dissociated more than they should have been. But some things that really worked were their engagement. The Sherlock Holmes story was something they did in groups every once in a while at the beginning of the class or on their own. So I had students engaging in this activity outside of class, and it was something that really helped with their reading comprehension, because they had to go through the Sherlock Holmes case, find the clues, interpret the readings, and understand, I guess, use some of their problem-solving skills to figure out the crime and who committed the crime and why. So I think it really helped in that sense. It also created an environment for collaboration. Being a teacher that used these kind of engaging activities in my class really helped develop that type of class culture where students develop relationships with each other much quicker. When the students in international students, they had their different majors. So in my class, the majors were combined, and within their majors, they were very grouped together. They knew their majors, so they're very comfortable working with the people in their majors. But in my class, using these games, it developed a class culture where they developed relationships outside of students with students outside of their major. So it was really awesome. Remember one day we had to do a makeup class, and I did it the week of Christmas, and we were able to use a escape room game, and that was a really great opportunity for them to develop those relationships in this makeup class. So really cool opportunity for them to get to know each other. Um, but that was a big risk for me. I don't teach university level classes anymore. That was my last year actually doing something like this. I did that the first semester, and then the second semester I improved upon it. I would maybe continue to look at how I could make it better. I think it's a interesting thing thinking about whether we should associate grades with experience points and kind of reverse that grading structure, where instead you start the semester with a 0 and you earn experience points for your A, or you start the semester the other way and you're turning in a grade and maybe losing points. I don't know. It depends, I think, on your learning environment. It depends on how you set up your course and make it very clear to your students. But you have to be careful they don't see those XP or the games as a high risk thing. So I'd love to hear your comments if you're watching the replay, what you think about using experience points as a part of grading. But that is the topic I wanted to talk about today, risk taking. Share with me your time that you took a risk, as well as if you are joining next week, come join and bring a project you're working on so we can look at it, maybe look at ways we can improve it. And finally, enter our giveaway. Go to the Facebook page again. I'll share this really quick on the desktop. Game-based learning, gamification, and games in education. You have to like, subscribe, comment on our YouTube, and then just let us know what your YouTube name is, and we'll get you entered into the giveaway. If you are on our newsletter, you get a bonus entry into the giveaway. So you can go to boardgamingwitheducation.com and sign up there. All right, so thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week.